What's up, my giant size fan things? How you all doing? Hope you're keeping safe out there. Today I'm carrying on with my HULKAMANIA season, and this is a figure I've actually been looking forward to for quite a while. Figure in question, it's the Marvel Legends Build-A-Figure Joe Fixit Grey Hulk, and I'm probably going to be very biased on this because I think Grey Hulk is probably my favourite version of the Hulk. Yeah, definitely, it's probably the version I like the most, not including She-Hulk. But okay, you know my shtick. A little bit of backstory. When the Hulk first appeared, he was grey, just straight up grey. This was mainly just it's easier to print him in grey back then, so that's what they did for the first few issues. Then eventually they made him green and, well, slightly larger and slightly dumber. He was actually a bit more intelligent, kind of. When he first appeared, not quite as big and muscly, but you know, they wanted to be a superhero, so they made him the Incredible Hulk we all know and love. And yeah, I'll go admit, good choice on their part. He's iconic, he's brilliant. But a couple of decades later, the Grey Hulk returned. After a little bit of a really crap time in Bruce Banner's life, he found himself in Las Vegas, turning into the Grey Hulk at night when the sun set. And what did the Grey Hulk do? Well, when you're large, grey, super strong in Las Vegas, and really maybe not the nicest person, you work for the mob or a respectable casino owner. So the Grey Hulk became Joe Fixit. As I said, the enforcer, the muscle for the Las Vegas casino families, and it was really, really cool. And it lasted a couple of, 2 or 3 years. It was really good. Eventually they did, however, go back to the Green Hulk. I think this is like the time when they when they made made Bruce Banner the Composite Hulk, which is a mix of all different Hulk personalities. It was weird. It was okay. I still prefer Grey Hulk. Actual first exposure to the Grey Hulk was in the Incredible Hulk and She-Hulk cartoon. It was like the second season of the Incredible Hulk cartoon. The second season started with Bruce Banner turning into either the Green Hulk or the Grey Hulk, depending on which of their personalities was in charge, which is actually a really cool thing to have. It's interesting to see these two personalities fighting within his mind. It was something that did appear in the comic books a little bit around that time, and yeah, it was really cool. And I really, really love this figure. This isn't the first Marvel Legends Grey Hulk, not by a long shot, but this isn't really like the latest. Well, no, he's the latest. I suppose the best way to describe this. He's not the only modern Grey Hulk figure. Let's put it that way from Hasbro. They did do a grey repaint with a very, very lovely retro card packaging. Really great. It was basically the 80th anniversary Hulk with a different head sculpt. Obviously the grey colour scheme. I would have picked it up because it's just the one thing I can't stand, which is kind of hypocritical considering. I'll get into it with this figure. He only came with one fist and one open hand, which I don't get why, because the original 80th anniversary Hulk had a matching set of fists and a matching set of open hands. Why couldn't they get into this figure? It baffles the mind. It still looks beautiful though, and I'm always tempted to pick it up anyway. I probably will. If I see one for a reasonable price, I will probably pick one up. And okay, onto this figure. Well, actually, before I get to this figure, just to put out there, this isn't actually based on the comic book appearance of the Grey Hulk when he was Joe Fixit. This is based on the alternative skin / unlockable skin from the Avengers computer game. That really awful one, which is basically just a grinding loot crate, resource management. I don't like modern video games that much. This one I played a little bit of. It was god awful. Though I do like the skin. Having the Hulk as Joe Fixit, that was really cool. Okay, so onto the figure itself. This figure is a Build-A-Figure. You got it from completing the Joe Fixit wave, but it was the one with the Gamerverse, Captain America, Iron Man. I think the leader in there, Kamala Khan from the Avengers game, I'll throw up the wave up there. I can't quite remember which one it was because I didn't collect the wave. I just bought this thing on its own from I was going to say Toys R Us, but no, actually it's through Facebook. I got him through Facebook, I think. And he's a really, really stunning figure. He's got a great sculpt to him. He's wearing this suit with the fedora hat, and it looks amazing. The suit is well fitted. It looks like it's straining slightly against the muscles and the bulk underneath it, but the sculpt work is brilliant. He's got those spat shoes on, which just look great. Very classic, very like 1930s and 40s gangster film, or like he'd walked out the Sting movie, or I don't know, Bugsy Malone or something like that. It just looks really, really cool. And I think he's articulated pretty well as well. It's not like hyper articulated. He's got universal shoulders, hips that are slightly hindered by the hard sculpt of his jacket, but it's not too bad. Thigh swivels, single knees, but again, he's not an acrobat, he's the Hulk. It'll pass. Ankles are slightly restricted, yet again, by the sculpt of his trousers, but they're not too bad. Universal joints in his wrists, and a ball joint in his neck. He's also got like a torso joint and a diaphragm joint, but they're very restricted by the sculpt of his jacket. I really can't complain. I think it looks good. The only thing I will complain about is lack of accessories. Now I know this is a Build-A-Figure, but you do sometimes get Build-A-Figures with accessories. I just wish it came with just a different set of hands and maybe a different head. Like, just give him a set of open hands. Yeah, I could live with that. Just fists and open hands, I'd be great. Another head sculpt would be nice, maybe one without the hat, but I kind of think there's a wonderful charm to this figure with the hat on. It's very like Michael Jackson, Smooth Criminal-esque. I actually really, really like it. It looks good. I've never wanted to get him into a pose he couldn't really do. He's a little odd to balance because of the weight of him, but all in all, I can't complain really. Just to get a bit of a close look at him, that face sculpt is really, really nice. The way the head is sculpted with the hat really does obscure his face, like he's trying to keep his identity secret, because like in the comic books when he was Joe Fixit, he was really trying to make sure no one actually realised he was the Hulk. And so he looked grey. Most people thought the Hulk was green, and just to make sure like no one recognised his face, he kept the hat down low. It looks really good. The face sculpt is brilliant. The little feathers in the hat look great. The eyes look good. The lips have been picked out in a slightly darker grey. It looks just really good. Some people complain this figure looks slightly green, and I've seen photos of it where it does have like a greeny tint to the grey, but looking at it in person, I actually don't see it. It's very weird. It might just be a thing where the photographers, when they took the photos of him before, just had the colour of the lighting slightly wrong, or maybe prototype colours were slightly different. But no, it's a great grey Hulk. Great. It's a lot of greys there. Yeah, I love this figure. It is amazing. Compare him next to some other ones in my collection. Obviously, the first one I've got to compare him next to has to be the 80th anniversary Green Hulk. They look great together. You can see like the 80th anniversary Hulk is a big figure, and this guy is only slightly smaller than him, but just the right amount of smaller to be the way the Grey Hulk in the comic books is slightly smaller than the Green Hulk. In the comic books, he's not quite as strong as the Green Hulk. He gets stronger the angrier he gets, but it's a much slower process, and he never really gets the same heights of strength as the Green Hulk. But he's still a very powerful character in the comic books. Here he is next to Juggernaut, the 8th anniversary one, yet again. Yeah, they're really good together. Oh, it's like I've got a lot of beefy characters, a lot of large figures in my collection nowadays. Yeah, my shelves need to be reinforced. Here he's next to the Wendigo Build-A-Figure. Looks great. They're roughly the same height with the way I've got him slouched, the way I've got the Wendigo slouched. Look great. Here he's next to Man-Thing. About the same height again. They just look really good together. Two beefy figures I really love. Here he is next to the recently released She-Hulk, the one I reviewed last. Yeah, again, really good. She-Hulk's about the right height. Yeah, she looks okay. She's a tall female figure, but putting her with the Hulk figures, I kind of think she's still slightly too small. But I don't know, like in the cartoon, the Incredible Hulk and She-Hulk, where the Grey Hulk appeared in, she was shorter than him, but well, actually looking at it, maybe she's the right size. I don't know, but either way, I like having the two of them together. It's really cool. Here he is next to a more average male Buck figure, the Spider-Man from the Retro Wave, or the Retro Spider-Man from the Retro Spider-Man Wave. Yeah, again, you can kind of see, like, he's a big figure. He's a good size Build-A-Figure. Like mass-wise, I've got no complaints. This is the sort of thing I want to see in Build-A-Figures, where they're chunky figures that you really couldn't afford to sell as individual figures. Though I'd be lying if I said I wouldn't like a version of this like released as a deluxe set, as a deluxe release figure. I'll get into that a bit later on, but looks really good with Spider-Man, and that's like half of the new Fantastic Four, the one storyline in the comic books where Spider-Man, Grey Hulk, Wolverine, and it was Ghost Rider. Which Ghost Rider was it? Danny Ketch? Yeah, there's a Danny Ketch Ghost Rider, the 90s one. Replaced the Fantastic Four for a little while. So yeah, I might have to track down a decent Wolverine and a decent... Well, actually, there isn't a decent Danny Ketch Ghost Rider at the minute. Hopefully I'll get one soon. I'd definitely pay money for that lot. Now here he is next to the figure a lot of people wanted to see him compared to. The Kingpin Build-A-Figure, even though this is the retro wave release, it's fundamentally the same figure as the Build-A-Figure version of him. Because a lot of people assumed they'd be made from the same parts. They assumed Hasbro would just reuse a lot of the Kingpin parts. And having the two together, I don't think there's any reuse of parts. I mean, they're both large suited figures, but the shoes are different, the legs, the arms, the body, and the main body is different. I'm amazed that Hasbro actually went through all the trouble to create an entirely new, large, suited sculpt. And though I'm kind of tempted to put his head and hands onto Kingpin's body, because there's like a famous Wolverine cover where he stood next to Grey Hulk and he's dressed as Patch, his undercover identity. It's basically Wolverine with an eye patch. How do people not know this? But the two of them are wearing like black trousers and a white shirt. And yeah, I might track down the Build-A-Figure Kingpin if I can get one for cheap. And they look really cool on there. It's really cool having the Grey Hulk's body parts, like the head and hand part on that, to recreate this cover. Yeah, but yeah, anyway, as I said, there's no reuse between the two of them. It's just two large, suited, brilliant figures. And yeah, that's it for the figure itself as a review goes. I really like this figure. He's a great Build-A-Figure. As I said, I'd love to see him released on his own like they did with Kingpin. Maybe with a more comic book-like head or comic book-like colour scheme, you know, given the pinstripes. Definitely with different hands, maybe gloved hands, because he often wore like white gloves in the comic books. That'd look really cool. I think there'd definitely be a market for buying a separate Grey Hulk figure, because he's in his own way, he's iconic. He's the Hulk as a mobbing force. So that's a brilliant idea, and it was done brilliantly. And this figure is brilliant. So yeah, folks, that's it. I hope you like this review. If you want to get this figure for yourself, you can either buy the whole wave, which I think like Smiths still has them in, or like some stores might have them in. Like I think Toys R Us might have some of them in, or just eBay. If all else fails, go to eBay to find the wave. If you're on Facebook sales, Marvel Legends UK or Marvel Legends Community UK, great bunch of people on there selling figures. You'll pop up every now and again. You normally spend, or it'll normally cost like say £50 for a Build-A-Figure, which is the same as places like Toys R Us charge for complete Build-A-Figures separated from a wave. It might also be on there at some point as well. It's always worth checking it with them. They get stuff back in. It's really cool. But yeah, that's it, folks. As I said, recommend this figure. If you can get one, get one. And yeah, that's another video in my Summer of Smash, my HULKAMANIA season done. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, just please leave a like and a comment. And if you've not subscribed, please subscribe already. And yeah, that's it. So until next time, folks, I want you all to stay safe, stay sane, and keep on rolling. And I'll see you all next time. Ta-da!